She boarded the last train of the night, her delicate silk dress slightly wrinkled from a long day. The soft hum of the tracks beneath her feet felt oddly comforting, like a lullaby she hadn't known she needed. Her name was Eliza Young, woman in her mid-20s, just trying to make it through the week. She had just come from a small charity event, one she almost didn't attend because of how drained she felt. Her job, her bills, her aching loneliness, they all sat heavy on her shoulders. But tonight, for a brief moment, she had allowed herself to smile, to wear something elegant, and to pretend the world wasn't so harsh. Now, she was alone on a nearly empty train, the city lights flickering past like forgotten dreams. The silk of her dress shimmered under the dim fluorescent lights as she settled into a seat near the window. She tried to keep her eyes open, but exhaustion slowly wrapped around her like a warm blanket. Within minutes, her head leaned gently against the window, and she drifted off. A few rows down, Liam noticed her the moment she stepped onto the train. Not because of the dress, or the quiet grace she carried, but because she looked so, tired. Not just physically tired, but Liam was in his 30s, a quiet observer by nature, someone who preferred to notice rather than be noticed. He was on his way home after a long shift at the community center where he worked with teenagers struggling to find their way. He knew what exhaustion looked like. He saw it in their eyes every day. At first he tried to mind his business, but when the train reached its last stop and the girl in the silk dress didn't move, his heart tugged. Everyone else had gotten off. The train was empty, except for her and him. The conductor's voice called out over the speaker, "Last stop, end of the line." Still, she didn't stir. Liam stood up and walked closer. There was something incredibly fragile about her in that moment. Her face was peaceful, but the kind of peace that only comes when someone finally lets go, for just a second, in a life full of holding everything together. He hesitated. Would she be afraid if he woke her? Would she think he meant harm? He gently tapped the metal bar near her seat instead of touching her. "Miss," he said softly, his voice low and careful, "you're at the last stop." Her eyes fluttered open, and for a moment, confusion filled them. She looked around, then at him, startled but not scared. I'm so sorry," she mumbled, sitting up quickly and brushing her dress, embarrassed. "I didn't mean to fall asleep." "It's all right," Liam replied. "Happens more often than you'd think." "Do you know how to get home from here?" She blinked, biting her lip. "I live uptown. I think I missed my transfer." The area around the last stop wasn't known for being safe this late at night. Liam knew it. She probably knew it too. "I don't mean to intrude," he said, gently, "but I've got my car parked just outside. If you're comfortable, I can drop you off." There was a pause, a long one. Eliza looked into his eyes, searching for anything that might suggest danger, but all she saw was sincerity. Hesitation still gripped her, but something told her he wasn't the kind of man who took advantage of people. He waited, without pressure. She nodded slowly. "Okay, thank you." The drive was quiet at first, but not uncomfortable. She glanced out the window, clutching her small purse, while he focused on the road. Eventually, she spoke. "You work late." "I do. Youth center. Keeps me on my toes." She turned to him. "That's good work. Helping kids." He shrugged modestly. "They help me too. Remind me how important it is to keep showing up. Even when it's hard." She smiled faintly. "That's rare. People don't usually care that much. I think we all wish someone had shown up for us at some point," Liam said. "So I try to be that someone when I can." Something about those words hit her hard. She looked down, her fingers tightening around the purse strap. "I don't think anyone's ever shown up for me. Not really." He didn't respond right away. He didn't have to. The silence said enough, and it was the kind of silence that didn't ask her to explain or apologize. When they pulled up outside her apartment building, she turned to him. "You didn't have to do this, but you did." "Why?" Liam thought for a moment. "Because I hope someone would do the same for my sister, or my mom, or me, if I ever needed it." Eliza swallowed the lump in her throat. "Thank you for being kind." He smiled, warm and gentle. "We all need someone, even if just for one night." She got out, walked toward her door, and paused. She turned back. One last look. He was still watching, making sure she got inside safely. When the door closed behind her, she leaned against it, tears quietly sliding down her cheeks, not out of fear or sadness this time, but out of relief. For the first time in a long while, she felt like maybe the world wasn't so cruel after all. In Liam, he drove away without expecting anything. Just a man doing a quiet good deed, a small act that changed a weary woman's night, maybe even her view of people. In the end, it wasn't just about getting someone home safe, it was about reminding them that there's still kindness in the world. Even on a lonely train. Even in a silk dress. Even when you're just trying to make it through another day.